try to do better. I'm going to try to do better. Okay. So I don't see Matthew. Is Matthew here?
No, not yet, I don't think.
Not. So it's me and Beverly then. Beverly, you want to move the minutes?
Okay, I make a motion to accept the minutes of Tuesday, July 12th, 20. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 2022.
Thank you. Second, I'll second it. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Abstain? Okay, we're ready to go. So it looks like we're on eligibility. Is that where you are, Susan?
Yes, I am. And I
Okay.
see Mark Romano here, and we actually had time to kind of review. You've seen that one of the things we discussed last time was that we wanted to separate policy and we wanted to include regulations. What is the high school doing to support our students, our athletes, so that they do excel and do better than, they at least perform satisfactorily? What are we providing? And I was actually quite impressed in our conversation that so much attention is made and there's so much care between teachers and coaches and students that they really are on top of that. So I want to be able to bring you through this and, and have Mark speak to it specifically. I know we looked at a couple things and tried to wordsmith, and I can bring up the document if you'd like, or would you rather have him start to talk about it first?
Well, bring it up and then Mark can start. And if it's all right with you, I want to look at the regulations as well.
Okay.
I like what you did between separating.
So what I'm going to do first is share my document, share my screen. And Erica did a lovely Google Doc, so I can actually type right on and I can pretend to do what she does.
Not possible. Can you enlarge
I can
it?
make it a little bigger too.
Yes.
Let me just try to see what I can do here. Usually my screen just automatically, but it must be Google in the Google world.
See, what I have in my hand that I got in the packet on Friday is not the same as what's on the screen.
So we had gone through this together and it is a little different because Mark and I kind of tweaked it. We noticed that this policy for interscholastic sports really is related to Fitch High School, not all of Groton Public Schools. That question came up by a board member. And if that's something we choose to do later on, where we have Groton Middle School follow these very strict guidelines, we could. Right now, Groton Middle School kids participate. We absolutely make sure that they get tutoring after school and we're watching their grades, but we're not following specifically the CIAC the way the high school is. Am I saying that right, Mark?
So Susan, so should this policy say eligibility to participate in interscholastic athletics for Fitch High School?
Yeah, I would say for high school athletics.
The
Yep,
high school
that's good.
athletics, okay.
Yeah. So Mark, you want to take them through some of the things that you might have recommended? I think we've got them highlighted.
Yep. So how's everybody doing, by the way? Sorry, I'm actually at the beach right now. So
Oh, Mark.
He works
might-
all the time.
I might be a little in and out, but so you can see in letter A there, we included the CIAC eligibility brochure. It's just a hyperlink, and that will bring you to basically the handbook of what the CIAC offers, not the entire handbook, but it's kind of a cheat sheet in a sense, specific to how student athletes can be eligible to participate in high school athletics.
Are
So
you
it talks
talking about the brochure or the handbook?
the brochure, which is the
Okay,
first
so
requirement.
if I click on that, let's see if I can do this. So this is what Mark is referring to. We actually reviewed it. And we could actually attach it in our policy manual so that we would have it like behind the regulations so that people could see it, but they could also click on if they're on the website looking at the policy.
Right.
So you
And
want
it-
to speak to this, Mark, a little bit and kind of fill the board members in on what this actually provides for kids?
Yep. Sure. So if you kind of scroll down, it walks you through basically a quick introduction of what it is, and then the eligibility and academic requirements during the season. Again, it's the passing the 4 Carnegie units at the end of each school year, which, for example, right there, to be eligible to participate in the fall sports. That would be for the year. And then it talks about 4 credits for every quarter of the school year. So at the end of the fall season, students would have had to pass 4 classes to be eligible per the CIAC. And then in-season rules, like we talked about, talks about the birth date of student athletes that can't be participating during the season in which your 20th birthday falls. And then it talks about what they're able to do, new participant in activity, same sport during the same season. So some sports are allowed to do that, some aren't. So again, consult with your principal or athletic director, and then it continues on. Let's see, outside of season, it talks about that. How students, if you're in the same sport, can't participate in camps. And then clinics, same thing. Let's see. School of choice, transfer rule, those are all things that we factor into and talk about during the, when students are enrolled at Fitch. If the student transfers in, these are some of the policies that we would follow.
And
Freshmen
you
are
review
automatically
this with the parents very carefully too, and the athletes, right? On your.
So we would get information from the school counseling department of the students who have transferred in, and then we would meet with them individually to go over their credits, their age, their grade, all those types of things. Homeschooled students are not allowed to participate. Keeps going through. Performance enhancing.
That is something I'm totally against, that homeschool students can't participate, but that's a topic for another day.
Yep.
Is
We just
that-
said can or
Yeah, but
cannot.
is that a
Sorry.
CIAC requirement, Mark?
That is a
Yeah.
requirement. Yeah.
Beverly, would you say that again? I missed it.
I don't like the CIAC requirement that homeschool students cannot participate in sports. I mean, their parents still pay taxes, and if we're interested in children, no matter where they are, they should be able to participate in the sports. I mean, I'm totally against the CIAC doing that rule.
Okay. All right, I get it now. Thank you.
And then it gives us a briefing on the concussion education requirements. Talks
And
about
can I just
recruitment.
say this on your behalf, Mark? Mark was
Sure.
instrumental a few years back. We were hearing a lot of concern with concussions, especially in certain sports like football. And he really took this on and made sure his coaches were very aware. He wrote policy with me. He was just so on top of this. And, I've had students who've played, my own children who've played sports and had a concussion. So I know how serious it can be.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate that he's done this for us when he, was here with us.
And your
Prior.
athletic trainer, very impressive, your
Mhm.
Right.
knowledge, the two of you. Yeah.
Yep, thank you.
I saw Beverly wanted to say something.
Oh, no, I'm good.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
And then it continues on with recruitment from other schools. And then.
It's a violation, right?
And I think that's it.
Okay.
So that's that. So that's just a quick snapshot of eligibility for student athletes, and all those things are factored into it.
So
This
Susan,
little
can
window is,
you bring
I'm
the?
trying to.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've got this thing in front of me. Let me move it a little bit.
You have to close.
Here we go. Got it.
Okay,
There you go.
all right. You see in the, under A, in
I'm
the,
sorry. me go back. Here we go.
See, under A, the fourth, I think it's the fourth line down, it says CIAC recommends 4 credits. See that?
Yep.
Okay, that should be a semicolon, not a comma after credits. It says Fitch High School. Yeah, right there. Okay. Right. So,
Yep, and then it goes into, you know, what we're asking our student athletes to do, which requires a minimum, and I can't stress enough, minimum of 5 credits.
Yeah, they
That's
need
just
to
the
do more than 5 credits in order to get 26 by the end of the 4 years.
but that says a total of 5 credits, not a minimum.
So Fitch High School requires a minimum of 5 credits.
I think those were the words that we switched it to, Andrea, if you look up here on the screen. So we had realized that it wasn't really stated correctly. That's why we said it
Oh.
requires a minimum of 5.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Yeah, so we don't want student athletes to think, you know, be complacent with, oh, we just need 5. We want them to understand we expect more than 5, but we're saying at a minimum 5.
Yeah. Got it.
Okay, because on our sheet, it says total. So do we
I
have to
know
write
that
the sheet?
that we felt was a mistake. When we
Okay.
went, we were able to review it. Mark was able to come to my office and go through this with me. And so that, and I apologize, the timing was just off. I wasn't able to get it back like I know you like and appreciate. But I thought we could put it up on the big screen like this and go through it ourselves. So anything that's highlighted was actually changed because it words better and I think smoother and clearer.
So on the other line before that, CIAC requires, that's what it should be, not recommends.
Yes.
Correct. Yep,
Okay.
right in the yellow.
I'm just fixing my paper here.
Okay. And I'll make sure you have these. I can send them right out to you.
Yeah. So any student enrolled at Fitch High School. Okay, let me take out that Groton Public School.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
And then letter B, is everyone all set with letter A?
I think it reads better now. I remember it was really confusing with +1 and then it was 5 and CIA said 4. And I think
Right,
people were getting confused. I think we simplified this. Erica helped us with that, to simplify it, to say what it means to say.
Yeah, we felt like it was a little choppy. We wanted to clean it up a little bit. So then we jump into letter B, and that's just a student athlete has 8 semesters or 4 years of eligibility to participate in athletics beginning their freshman year. That's just straight from the athletic CIC handbook. And basically, if a student, you know, there's other things that come into play, but overall, that's what the expectation is. If a student was looking to, you know, hardship waiver or something along those lines, but you know, that would be something that we would have to look at in a different light if a student was asking for that.
Mark, what would a hardship late exception be? Waiver.
I mean, we honestly, we had one this year that we applied for a student athlete who was a senior who went through a difficult time with his family. And so basically the process is you would appeal to the CIAC and you either with the information provided, whether they were granted or not. For this student athlete in particular, we were denied. We then appealed it and we're denied again. But it's basically, you know, things that they uncontrollable in their life that, you know, came into effect and maybe had them miss a year of school or whatever it may be. So those would be something along like a hardship waiver.
So you would have to miss a year of school. Is that what should I take? from
Yeah,
that?
something, you know, trying to think of another scenario.
You don't have to
where-
name, or you don't have to be specific, just like.
It could be
If
health
I'm a-
related, mental
Yeah,
health
health,
related. You know,
family
if a
illness.
student, you know, was struck by a serious illness maybe and had to take the year off.
I see. Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Beverly,
I mean,
you okay? Beverly, you okay with that?
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
okay, then we get into the paragraph below. The administration shall be responsible to determine whether students meet the criteria above. Eligibility criteria will be published in the athletic handbook, student handbook, as well as posted on the Fitch High School or Fitch Athletic website.
And so we've also put the handbook. Do you want to see that? That's right here. In the paragraph above. So we have both the brochure and the handbook readily available for families. And, you know, we can actually have them in a PDF as well under the regulations so that they can just go to them as well. So you can have it both ways.
Let's just take a look at them briefly so we know.
Yeah, the CIC handbook, there's so many pages in it. That's why we went with the brochure, because it's just a quick lookup. Whereas this, you know, I don't even remember what page the eligibility's on.
Oh,
It's 234 pages. Maybe
Oh.
we won't put it in a PDF.
Yeah, it's a lot of information in there.
It's a lot. And you know what? Our student handbooks really try to capture the essence of what this is saying in a
That's
very
what I-
readable document for families and kids, so it doesn't become so convoluted they don't understand it, you know? We don't want this to be like a you know, course you have to take before you sign up for.
Could we put the pages of the student handbook that apply to this there instead of the CIC? That makes more sense to me, to have the actual wording from the student handbook.
Well, isn't that what the brochure does do, Mark? I think it
Right.
takes the wording right from the handbook and it simplifies it into a much easier reading document.
And then,
Yep.
and
Okay.
that applies to the other document that we looked at?
Yes,
Okay, so it's
Exactly.
there.
but
Right,
it's
so-
there for anybody's reading pleasure that wants to go
Mhm.
through 224 page, you know, and someone who might be interested and, you know, make a case for a situation, you know.
Right.
Some great summer reading.
Beverly, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that's good. I think the CIAC handbook should be there. I know it's 230 pages, but like Susan said, in case somebody wants to make a case, they have the
Mhm.
handbook that they can go back and refer to.
Right.
And the
Okay,
brochure
good.
seems great.
Thank you.
No, it looks good.
Yeah,
And then, of course, the red lines are what we took out
Mhm.
and we recomposed this to make a little more sense and to do what we really are doing.
Mhm.
Um,
mine says something about the principal just establishing, where is this?
Oh, yep, we removed that. Right at
You
the end
did.
of that paragraph. Yep.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense to me. I looked at that this afternoon and I thought, why is that there?
Then
Yeah.
we kept in the Board of Education shall be informed of any changes that the CIC may make in its requirements.
Yep, thank you for that.
Yeah. Okay, can we take a look? I know that the regs are your jurisdiction. But let's look, when we look at them. These are just, sentence
The
level.
only question I had about the regs, are you going on to the regs now?
I
Yeah.
think I am.
All right. I read them over.
Mhm.
And the only question I had is like, if a student gets a D or F or in one course, or a D or F in two or more courses, well, I'll start with the D or F in one course. Is one session a week enough to help that student? It doesn't seem like that's enough to help a student. I mean, one time a week, how long are the sessions?
It runs about 45 minutes.
So one session for 45 minutes is supposed to help that student elevate their grade from a D or F to from an F to a D and a D to a C or whatever it's supposed to be. It
I think
doesn't seem like it's enough.
I think the key word in there is a minimum. So we're saying at worst, it's one session.
Well,
You know.
I like the minimum to be two. I don't think it's enough. So the kid could do the minimum one. And I don't know. One doesn't seem for 45 minutes. It doesn't seem like it's going to help that student. That's my
But Mark, can
personal
you
feeling.
explain the other things that you do for kids besides the after school that are in place like during the school day?
But
Sure.
Mark, before you do that, I want to say that I agree with Beverly. And I thought about that this afternoon. And then I looked at the other things and I thought, well, maybe they do more, maybe they do one of these and one of these and one of these. But I'm with Beverly on this, so go ahead.
So, some of the other supports that we offer during the school day, you can see down the bottom, I think it's number 4, the one-to-one student support.
Hey, Mark, I'm gonna stop you right there because you say you offer, but you don't require. I mean, it seems like we want high expectations, but for some students, it just seems like it's disjointed. That for some students, we really don't want high expectations. We want them just to move along and do the minimum. And for some students, we want high expectations. So you're saying we offer, but they don't have to do it. And that's why I like they're required to take two courses a week, not a minimum of 1, a minimum of 2. And if they have a D or F in 2 or more courses, they should be taking the minimum of 3 sessions a week.
Well, Mark,
Right.
can I ask a question? I think, doesn't Falcon Academy meet after school?
Yep, correct.
So would this interfere with their ability to attend practice?
Well, so we have a coaches meeting actually tomorrow night, and this is one of the things we're going to review again. But if a student, we stress academics first. So the student athlete may have to go to practice late.
Right.
So,
And I was going to say that with
Yeah,
no
so-
disrespect, we're students first and athletes second. They're not all going to go to the NBA. They're not going to go to the NFL, the NHL, or whatever, the WNBA. They're students first.
Yep,
So they would still go to practice, but they would go late.
correct. Yep.
Can I
Correct.
just add this too, with Power School, sometimes a student might be missing assignment and all of a sudden they get an F. It's showing as an F because they don't have credit
Right.
for what they've done. They might be able to get the assignment in the next day. They might need a Falcon Academy only one time to
Right.
complete the project. And then all of a sudden the grade is a B or a C. So I think we have to really personalize this and see what the student actually needs before setting requirements on them. Oftentimes it's even more than that. Maybe they failed a test.
Right.
And our teachers are pretty good about giving kids kind of second chances and ways to make up for, trying to understand what they missed on and, maybe retaking, maybe getting some help and then, going back to the subject. So I think every case is different. And so with Power School, you're getting parents and kids and are getting information instantaneously, but sometimes it's not accurate because it's just that something hasn't been handed in or something was amiss and, it's not that big a deal. Sometimes it is a big deal and they have to do more than one afternoon. Maybe they missed a whole topic, and they have to go back and really relearn something.
All right, I understand that, but there are still the kids that are getting the D's and the F's that don't meet your exception. So if you want to write exceptions into your regulations, write them. If a kid misses this assignment, then he's excused. But I'm concentrating on the kids that are getting the D's and the F's, that are truly getting D's and F's.
So just, I don't mean to cut you off, but I think one of the things that is part of this Falcon Academy is this, that it's a bi-weekly grade check. So what that means is this: every Friday, our one of the secretaries will do the grade pull. We will personally assign each kid the day that, or days that they will be assigned to attend Falcon Academy. So we're taking that out of the kids' hands from that and say, hey, you're required to attend. Well, there's a lot of intangibles that go into it. So we're actually setting the schedule and assigning them to the actual Falcon Academy and a number of days that they need to attend based on, how many Fs or how many Ds they had. So from that, so let's just say the kid goes in, they have an F or a D or whatever it may be. They can also earn their way out of it after when the biweekly grade report is pulled again, we'll say on the 16th, 2 weeks later. Now at this point, they have no Ds or Fs or A's, B's, and C's or whatever it may be. Now they don't have to attend for the next 2 weeks. And then we pull it again in 2 weeks. Oh, now I have a D or an F again. Now they go back in. So it's a constant revolving door. We're constantly monitoring the student athletes' grades and along with the coach and supporting them and making sure that they're getting the supports that they need.
I hear what you're saying, but I'm still with my minimum of 1 session is too low and a minimum of 2 sessions is too low. I hear everything you're saying and it's all subjective, but this is the regulation and this is how it should be. I don't, so without any, what you're saying is, I don't know. All the other stuff seems to be subjective, and this is printed. So when I worked for the Department of Correction, if it wasn't written, it didn't happen. So
Well, that's why these regulations, there are practices. They're really the management that we have, our management system. So what I would recommend is Mark's getting ready to meet with his coaches to kind of review these practices and really see, what is happening and what has been the best practices, and, have a conversation about that with the people who are really interacting with the kids on a regular basis. Does that make sense, Mark? When
Yeah,
you meet with the
definitely.
coaches?
Yep,
Mark-
I'm meeting with them tomorrow evening.
Mark-
Have a full, yep,
Mark,
sorry.
when you talk to the coaches, tell them that the board, Beverly and I, want those changed and see what their
Well, I think the board is
reaction is. See what
concerned
the-
that is that enough? And
Right.
and maybe get a sense of what seems to be working best to really support kids. So Mark and I talked about how sports and clubs can mean, and band and music and drama. Those are
Yeah.
some things that really can motivate kids beyond the classroom. And I think it's really important for them to stay connected and belong to the school. And some of that is really about belonging
Yeah,
and being part
and
of something.
certainly Beverly and I know that.
That's why I was, that's why I was asking if they can still go to practice. Because for
Yeah.
some kids, that's their, their hook. That's their,
Yeah.
that's why they come to school.
Right. And I
And
think
Mark-
okay, that's
Mark-
good.
Yeah.
Denise, I'm not, no disrespect to you. That's why they come to school, but that's not gonna be putting food on their table when they're 18 and they need to get a job.
I hear you.
Denise, I think the world of you, Denise, but when people say that, because I taught in the Department of Correction, I seen those kids. I
I know.
worked with those kids.
Mark, when you go tomorrow, I don't want you to say, is that enough? I want you to say, that's not enough. And then
Right.
see how they,
no, understandable.
Beverly, are you okay with that?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Let me just
Andrea.
remind that when we bring this to the board is voting on policy, and we're just suggesting this is what the practice is. So we'll be able to look at that again, and if there are any revisions, we'll be able to add that and make sure we send it your way to take a look at.
Well,
Mm.
I realize that maybe then we need to put in policy if it's not going to be
Right.
if it's part of the regulations and we really don't have any authority over that, then maybe it has to go in the policy.
So,
That would be my thought too.
so let's see how Mark makes out with the group. And, he'll be in communication with me, and I'll be in communication with you.
Okay, and I don't want this to go to the board until we get this absolutely the way we want it. So I don't want it to go on the next meeting unless it's the way we want it to go. Do you understand what I'm saying? In other words, I don't want it to come back again. So,
And I think the wording needs to be something like, depending on the need of the student. In each case, we have to look at almost each individual student to see what's the severity of the problem. And that's what's going to require the level of support.
well, I don't know if you can see this, but this is the book that we read for DEI. And one of the things that struck me was that there should be a cut and dried, no nonsense. This is the way it is, of standardized rules and expectations. It should be school-wide, applying to everybody. And it should not be in a way that we look at the kid and we see what he needs and then we kind of mold things to that. And let me give you exactly what I'm talking about in terms of my own experience. When I was principal, I had certain school rules. You never broke them. And one of them was, I think you know this, one of them was you don't chew gum. And the reason for that was at the middle school level anyway, when the kid crosses the threshold of the middle school, you've heard this before, he turns into Bugs Bunny. And the rest of us are Yosemite Sam. And you realize, of course, this means war. So I wanted war to be over gum, not to be over some place where they could hurt themselves. So that's the essence of this book, that the rules should be standardized. And then, again, from my experience, one time I had a rule in class, not the school rules, in class. And if you broke that rule, whatever the punishment was, so the kid breaks the rule. And I know that if I enforce this rule, I'm going to destroy the kid. If I don't enforce the rule, I'm going to destroy the class's faith. So I go to the assistant principal and I say, what I just said to you. And he said that when he was in college, he had a professor who said, the rule is we never wear shoes in this class, except for today, because there are snakes on the floor. The class will know there are snakes on the floor. So that's how I'm looking at the rules of anything, that they should be standardized. And that's what this book is saying. Standardized, everybody does as the rules expect.
All right.
But when the snakes are on the floor, everybody will know that. I don't know if that made sense to you, but it certainly makes sense. I know, not only does it make sense, but I have practical experience to back that up. So Beverly, what did you think of that?
I thought that was great. That
Okay.
was great.
So that's where Beverly and I stand. I don't know where Matthew is.
So can I just reorient us to where we left off then? Because I want to make sure, Mark, you've been able to go through this regulation document.
Right.
Mark,
So-
before you do that, did that make sense to you? Did you get what I was saying?
Yep, no, I understand. Having
Okay.
a standard policy. And I think, truthfully, I think that's where that CIAC policy is. I think it's a standard blueprint for high schools, across our state. And I think, I know from my perspective and, I think Susan and Ted and everybody else, like, we're looking to up the ante. We felt like
Okay.
that 4 is too minimal.
Yeah,
and
it's a
we expect
minimum, and I
more.
felt like we could do better than that.
Right.
Yeah.
So that, that was some of the reasoning, why we wanted to go to 5 and, hold our student athletes a little higher, implement this after school program to provide more supports for them. So,
Right.
but
And
no,
Mark actually said he's checked with other colleagues, like in next door neighbor, Waterford and Ledyard, and they have the minimum requirement. And I really appreciate that we're holding our kids more accountable and expecting higher levels of, academics for our own students. So I
right.
do
And I
appreciate that.
appreciate that too, Susan. And that's why I want to see the sessions increase. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Really.
yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
talk to the folks and we'll do what we can do. All
Right.
right.
Yeah, I think the other piece to it too is, as a reminder, a lot of the student athletes are eligible to participate. And a lot of the students, at this point in time, they have, 3-4 games a week at times. So we're trying to work with them to provide them the supports as well as the ability to participate in athletics as well. So,
And I go back to, we also have CTL. So every day, and it's not just a glorified study hall, the whole purpose is for the students to meet directly with their teachers. So if they're in trouble in math class, geometry, and they need their Doug Manfred teacher to work with them in geometry, that's the perfect time. They have that every single day.
right.
So I think we can do more with that CTL period so that, in addition to this, we can get them up to speed quicker.
Right. Yep.
So bring
agreed,
that up to
100%.
the attention too, that we have other resources as well.
Yeah.
So
So
Mark-
essentially, a kid could meet with a teacher twice a day. If say, for example, they were going to the Falcon Academy in the afternoon, they met with the teacher during CTL during the day, or maybe they were offered a tutoring support with another student from either the National Honor Society or another thing. So it's not just necessarily the one Falcon Academy session. There's also
Right.
other opportunities.
Yeah,
We
I
could.
But
I
Go
think
ahead, Andrea.
Beverly and I think that Beverly and I would agree that it doesn't have to be from the same source. As long as it's up to 2 and to 3, it could be a combination of any of them.
Yeah,
Right.
I agree.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You could
I
put
mean, I'd actually
2
rather have
sessions.
our students meet with their actual teacher. I mean, when you think about the most highly qualified person, that would be their math teacher, their ELA teacher, their science, because they know exactly what the student is missing.
Yeah, we don't want to preclude their participation. We just want them to get the extra help.
Yeah, we get it.
Right. Yep. 100%.
Yep.
Understand.
And I appreciate that our board members care so much. I appreciate that you and Beverly are on this. Because it's important. We have to do this together.
If we don't do this, we may as well hang it. Say we're not educators.
Right.
Okay. So what else? Because I have some small things to
So
go through.
Yep.
But
So I will.
what else?
So I'll follow up with the coaches tomorrow, and I'll talk to Susan by the end of the week, and get their taste of it as well, and be able to present this as well during our parent meeting on the 18th.
that would be great, Mark.
But we don't
Thank
want
you,
this
Mom.
to, yeah, we don't want this to go forward until we see it.
And
we
I
know-
think the next step is we've got to let our counselors know. Because they are also go-tos for our sports. I know coaches are often mentioned when I ask who's your go-to, but I want the counselors to be the next go-to, or maybe even the first go-to. So whatever is decided, they're going to need the policy and the regs, and they're going to need to know to really pay attention to how kids are performing.
So are we through with the content of,
Yes.
what are we doing? Are we moving this from the regulations to the policy?
Let's see what Mark has to say.
Oh,
what
all right,
they
okay.
come up with. It really is something that's the management part of it, but let's see what we come up with, and I'll give it back and showcase it with you and Matthew and Beverly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I would be
very
good, Susan, with it saying 1 session, 2 sessions, 1 of Falcon Academy, like Andrea said, 1 of some other one, 1-to-1 student support, student to teacher support, but it has to be 2 and it has to be 3.
I'm with you.
Okay.
So Susan, let me see where this is. Scroll up to the number 1. Sorry.
So I'm just putting this to remind myself.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Ah. Oh, geez, I just lost it.
I have it written down, Susan.
Okay. And then I can put with 2 with CTL support during the day.
Okay, I see you went up to, I'm sorry again.
Because boy, I would really push for that. That's a perfect opportunity for kids. I want to see them going to their teachers more now during CTL and getting the help they need.
Yep, I agree.
Not only for student athletes, but for any student who needs it.
Right.
And the same thing with A, Susan.
With what?
With,
A?
yeah, 3A, the one
Yeah, I've
course.
got that here.
Oh, okay, I
But
didn't
it's
see
so-
it. I'm
Mhm.
sorry, I didn't see it.
That's all
Oh,
right.
I see.
And of course, Mark mentions that down here. You have one-on-one support. We have tutors during the day now. We have tutors, after school. So there's so many ways kids can get help, but you're right. They're not necessarily the ones that go looking for it. Sometimes it's the
Exactly.
coaches, teachers, and parents who have to help them along the way.
Right.
And yeah, and I agree with you. And that's why we're assigning those kids those supports, firsthand. So there's really no question. We're basically taking it out of their hands and saying, here's what you need to do.
Right. And sometimes you have to do that if you want kids to be successful. When I taught at the women's prison and my students were going for their GEDs, most of the students did not do math well. So we had a rule. If you want to take the GED exam, you have to stay after school with me every day for the 2 weeks prior to the exam to get tutored in math. And you know what? Our success rate went through the window because most of them passed the math part, which
And because
most
you
of them were
cared,
failing.
Beverly.
Hmm?
You cared.
Yeah.
You
And
were
that's what
interested
I'm
in them
saying.
being successful.
Yeah. And if we didn't put that rule in place, they wouldn't have came.
Yeah, I know.
They were like, like they had a million things to do, they had to go home, wash clothes and stuff. Then they had
I get it.
So,
And I want to say that that's what I'm hearing from Mark as well. I'm not hearing Mark say, oh, we want to, come on, you ladies, get with it.
No.
No, not at
No.
all.
No,
Yeah.
not at all.
So let me go up 2 more things while we're on here. Go to number 3 and see that but.
Oh,
Yeah, just make that regular. And then all the way through here, it mixes they and he and she. So let's go down to A and make that, see where it says one course and now it's going to, well, you know what I mean? Make that
Mhm.
they, he or she.
I'm looking for they, he or she.
It's right after the,
indicates.
Oh, here indicates. Got it.
where, no. It's right after one
Right
course.
here.
Where, no.
Bi-weekly grade report indicates they are no longer, you mean he or she?
Yeah.
Is no longer?
Right, and if you go to the first sentence after the underlined one course, that should be, the they there should be he or she.
Andrea, you can I just throw this in for a quickie?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I used to attend all those DEI meetings when I was on the RTM. And some people don't identify as a he or a she.
Yeah, I know what
So-
you're gonna, yeah, okay,
So
then,
they might be a little
in that
less
case-
gender.
They might be a little,
right, and you're absolutely right. I don't care about that. I care about consistency. So
okay.
then make everything they, and
Okay.
take out the he or she. And Beverly's absolutely on
So,
target.
How about if
Denise,
we use
when we go
student
through
athlete?
this with Erica, we'll make sure it's all consistent.
All right, I'm happy.
Yes, definitely.
All right,
Only because I went to all those DI trainings.
I get
Yes,
it.
I know. I've learned a lot myself.
I get it, and I should have said, make them all they. I should, and if Liz were here, oh dear. So, okay, you're absolutely right. Yeah,
We could also
done.
use the term student athlete, and then that applies to any student athlete.
Yeah.
Because it's specific to athletics.
And you know what, Mark, I wouldn't mind seeing some statistics on what's the percentage of young men this applies to? And what's the percentage of young women this applies to? And, or anybody
Who
else?
needs the support, are you saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just,
we do break our data down in gender, looking at
Yeah.
grades and things, and that would be interesting to
Right.
take a look at.
But, you know, I'm thinking about what Beverly just said, and now I'm wondering if that's even illegal. So, well, we can think about that, but that's something I wouldn't mind knowing, but. Okay, moving along.
Okay. Thank you, Mark. I'm gonna let you go back to the beach
Yes, Mark,
with your
thank you.
family.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
So we have Denise here. Do you want to skip down to the challenging curriculum pieces? And then we can go back to naming. Is that a legal thing we can do?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Beverly said yes too, didn't she?
Yeah, yeah, I said yes.
Oh, thank
Okay,
you.
so let me find 614152, which is challenging curriculum. And I think I really appreciate you being here, Denise. You had offered and you helped us with the guidelines on the gifted and talented. And I'm really proud of our board members during this policy, really looking to open the doors for more kids, you know, and not be biased by even a disability or, you know, with every disability, there's a capability and there's gifts and talents in all kids. And I think when a student's really interested in something and wishes to try it, we need to be open-minded about that. So that's kind of the premise
Right.
of
That-
this.
That's absolutely correct. But I don't know whether I got the right documents in my packet, but these documents they say the same thing that the original one said that we went through. So I don't know what happened, but that's why I called you today, Susan.
Yeah. So I actually took time to read through them with that lens that we had talked about.
Uh-huh.
So, you know, we can kind of go through this together. Let me just get this bigger so we can see it. Can you see that? Or
Can
do
you
you
make
want
it
it even bigger than that?
Yes.
if you could, that would be great. That's good.
Okay.
I talked to Erica this afternoon and I think I told her to take out that second sentence because
The board supports advanced courses. Yeah.
because the first sentence says the same thing.
Yeah. Otherwise, why would we not, you know, we have this policy, so obviously.
Right.
So I like the fact that it says all students in high school, at the high school level. You know, this one speaks specifically to the high school level. The next one we will look at speaks more to the 8th and 9th graders specifically. Will be provided an opportunity to participate in rigorous and academically challenging curriculum.
Right. And that's good. Now, do you want to just how do you want to attack this? Do you want to read it or like the whole thing? Or do you want me to go through and say, wait a minute? How do you want to do that?
So, you know, I highlighted in the second paragraph, such as, but not limited to. So they're giving evidence of different types of courses kids can take, which we
Where's that?
offer. Honors
Can-
classes, dual enrollment, dual
Where is
credit,
it? I can't-
advanced
you-
placement, and international baccalaureate.
Yeah. Where is that? Can you highlight it?
That's the second, yeah, the second paragraph right here.
Mhm.
Can you make that yellow or no?
Is it blue for you?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Susan, can I ask you a question?
Yeah. Yeah. Go
Sure.
ahead, Beverly.
What is dual enrollment? What do you mean by that?
So dual enrollment, we're now offering for international baccalaureate and AP students the chance to get college credit, like to marry or partner the UConn credit with other high-level courses. So a student could walk out with a certificate in international baccalaureate diploma, They could walk out and possibly even take an AP exam, you know, to get credit, or they could have UConn credit. Because we're trying to align the objectives, because those high level courses have high expectations, but they're not different. They're really very similar. So a student could get a certificate, they could pass an AP exam with flying colors that also would assist them in higher education, or they could leave with some UConn credit and save their parents a boatload of money if they are able to, let's say, have a semester of credit that they've gotten in high school when they go off to school, college, or trades.
And is that what you refer to when you said?
And
dual
that's
credit?
dual credit, right? Or dual enrollment. You're enrolled in AP, but you're also enrolled in ECE or UConn.
And so why do we have dual credit there too?
Well, I have to figure that one out. I'm not so sure about the dual credit if they get credit for both. So let me ask that question.
Okay.
Do you know about that, Denise?
No, well, I think they earn dual credits.
Yeah, so that's not coursework. That's something they're earning, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
Or
think-
accrue, yeah.
Yeah. So I think we could take that out, but you can
Yeah.
check on that.
Yeah, let me check on that.
And then also, it says, and international baccalaureate. Let's see, encourages students to pursue rigorous advanced coursework, including blah, 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 and international baccalaureate. Now, there, as Beverly said last time, they're all in it in 6 through 10. So
Right.
either that should say for 11 and 12, or that we agree that there would be a separate sentence
Right.
saying international baccalaureate was defined as a advanced course, but you see, it really isn't. It's not an advanced course.
What, MYP?
It's a
Well-
way of teaching.
It is a way of teaching, but they do support that it is academically challenging, rigorous, and relevant for kids.
Yes, I agree, but it's not an
Let me
advanced
see
course.
if, let me just look ahead to see. There is, in the regulations on this, we do have a statement that we can put in about MYP. You know, Groton Public Schools provides middle years program, IB middle years program for all students grades 6 through 12.
I was wondering if we would want to clarify that. You know, add that in addition, because in addition to that, they can actually be accepted into the IB program junior, senior year. So it's almost like MYP and this IB are different in a way.
They are different. They are
Yeah.
different. See, Beverly advanced that last week, and
Mhm.
it has to, that can't be in there because it's not an advanced course.
What, MYP?
Yeah. I mean, it's nice that we have it, and it certainly is rigorous, but it's a way of teaching. It's not an advanced course.
Oh,
So
okay. It's
We
more of
can
an
put
approach
international
Yeah.
baccalaureate
Okay.
diploma.
Well,
program, diploma program.
can they do that? Can an 8th grader take like an
Well, this
11th
isn't
grade?
for 8th grade. This is
This would
just
be
for high
just
school.
11 and 12.
See, that clears up everything. Okay, well. Oh, if that's the case, then it does belong in here. Beverly, what do you think?
Mm-hmm. You're talking about the international baccalaureate courses.
Right, not
Right,
IB. Yeah,
Not-
IB, not
yeah.
MYP. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
yeah. Then it
Maybe
does.
the title should say Fitch High School or 9th, whatever the grades this policy pertains to, so we don't get confused. You know what I'm saying? The head,
Yeah.
the
I'm trying to
title.
find a place.
Yeah,
where
in
that would
fact,
fit.
that's what I have written on my sheet here. and international baccalaureate courses for 11 and 12.
Mm-hmm. So you could add that to it.
Yeah, if you add that to it, then that does it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't you like this idea of Google Docs, Dr.
Mhm.
I love
Ackerman?
it.
And I
I
can
love
just fix it right here.
I love it.
And
Okay,
then
now,
this next one,
yeah, read this one out loud and you'll see, you'll stop
Okay.
where I'm gonna stop. You're just
it
gonna
says the
stop.
board to encourage student participation in advanced courses or programs will communicate information about advanced courses or programs to students and parents, offer district-wide counseling to students about the benefits of advanced courses and programs, and annually report on district progress towards increasing students' readiness and participation for advanced courses and or programs. And that's what we worked on with the admin team at the high school and the coordinators to really make sure that we are, you know, AP, Carmita Hodge had all the 9th, 10th, and 11th and 12th graders listening to opportunities about AP. Next year, we're going to have AP and IB coming together and really giving kids the information and having parent nights. Like this is all part of coming back to community to really encourage more. And even with the bit that they did this year, they saw double the number of kids in some of these classes. So I
Oh,
thought
that's
that was for
great.
the first year. I thought that was impressive.
Yeah,
But
and
you
I
didn't-
like, I was gonna say, excuse me, Andrea, I like the emphasis of the role of the school counselors.
Take a look at, and I'm surprised you didn't stop at this. It's the last sentence at the very end, toward increasing students' readiness and participation. And that's what we talked about. That it wasn't their readiness or their participation. As Matthew said, he was ready, but his counselors didn't think so. So here we're back to people outside of the student making those decisions. And if
Well,
you
they're
read,
saying it's the board. It says the board to encourage student participation in advanced courses will communicate. And actually, it probably won't be you doing the communicating to parents. It'll probably be, you know, the board staff.
Yeah,
Well,
shouldn't it
someone-
say,
yes,
shouldn't it say the
Superintendent or,
the
That's-
district?
that's that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the students' readiness and participation.
What if
So
we put the students' enrollment?
that's better. So
Yeah,
let me
I
look
think
at, what-
You're
Let me look at
concerned
it.
about the words readiness and participation. Yeah. I
and
can
somebody
see
else
that.
somebody
Yeah.
else making, I'm so sorry Matthew isn't here. Because
Yeah.
last week he talked about, or last month he talked about how he was not allowed to take AP courses, but he took the examinations anyway. And he should have been in those courses. He just was not, he was a mediocre student, as he called him.
Maybe
well, and we
replace-
know gifted kids sometimes when they're not challenged, people sometimes balk at that, but when they're not challenged, they don't rise to the occasion.
That's right.
Maybe
There's
replace
been lots of
4
research around that.
Maybe
you
replace 4 with in, enrollment in,
So read it out loud.
and annually report on district progress toward increasing student enrollment in advanced courses or programs.
That's the way it should
Should
read
it
to
just
me.
read student enrollment?
I think so, because it's like the student body.
Now it's saying students enrollment.
So Beverly, what do you
Mm.
think?
I'm kind of confused because I don't see what the problem is with students' readiness, because it's saying offer district-wide counseling to students about the benefits of advanced level courses and programs, and annually report on district progress toward increasing students' readiness, because we want students to be ready to take these classes and participate. If they're not ready, then they can't take the class, right? So we want to increase their readiness. No?
Well,
How do you,
that
how would
means
you-
that yeah, that means that somebody has to, somebody outside of the student has to assess that readiness.
I
And let me
know,
go
that's
back-
what,
Yeah. So let me
that's what
go
I
back,
was gonna say.
let me go back to this book again. So there's this teacher and she goes over to this black kid and she says, let's talk about whatever. And the kid is like blowing her away. And she says to him, why are you raising your hand? And he says, because I don't want anybody to think I'm stupid. So
Mm.
you see,
Mhm.
this is always based on what somebody else thinks and
Mhm.
not the reality of it.
Yeah, I like that example. I'm wondering, what are we going to report to the board? I would think we're going to be reporting the number of students that are enrolled in these higher level classes.
Yeah, it's gonna be, like you said, it's more subjective to talk about readiness. I think our job as educators is to get them ready, starting, I say, in,
Kindergarten.
infancy,
Yeah.
before
Right.
they even get to school.
Yeah.
That's why I love Children First Groton as a partner.
Well, and
Beverly-
the counseling plays a role in that too, because like Andrea just said, the kids might be ready academically, but they don't have faith in themselves that they are ready. And that's why I love having that counselor involvement. To me, that's nurturing the readiness. I just don't know how you report on that.
Yeah.
No, well, how you report is the way you've got it now.
Who's sitting in the seat?
The
Right, yeah,
enrollment, yeah.
yeah, and that's what we need to know. We need to see the enrollment increasing. And you know that I'm gonna again go off in left field, but I see this at the academy. I'll be talking to a cadet, and I'm saying like, why aren't you applying for a regimental position? And like the eyes go down like this, and it's like, oh, I don't know, they're not going to take me. I said, are you crazy? I mean, look at what you're saying. Look at who you are, and that goes on all the way
All
through
the time.
college and even beyond.
Yeah,
Yeah. You're right about that.
yeah.
So anyway, okay, so that's one. That's one. Okay.
Now, the definition kind of repeats what we've already said. We've kind of gone over that. That was actually up above in the policy.
Well, hang on, because see where it says International Baccalaureate Program, which is for 11 and 12, grades 11 and 12.
Oh, you want us
So
to
I
add for
think
great students? in
all
grades-
of these other, though, there are opportunities. It's not often that you see a kid in ninth grade taking an advanced placement, but it could happen. But I know that International Baccalaureate Diploma Program is definitely specified for,
But see, it says an advanced course or program. And so I just think we should be consistent and just say 11 and 12, as we
Mhm.
did up above.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
mhm.
Because in ninth grade, they really don't take advanced courses, do they?
well, they do have honors courses.
In math,
Oh,
they
they do.
could, right?
Yeah.
No.
But we can speak to that in the 8th and 9th. I
Yeah.
think.
I know. We might have to have one policy refer to the other. You know how we've
Yeah.
done that before, C policy, the other
Right.
policy, because it will give us more information. So,
So I think I'm okay, Beverly, I don't know about you, with the prior academic performance. Means that the course or courses that a student has taken, the grades received, it's just a definition.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Now, when we get down to guiding principles, I highlighted the second sentence, but I'll start with the first. The board is aware that I don't know, Beverly, I don't know how you feel about this, but it just grabs me. The board is aware that minority students are chronically underrepresented in advanced level of courses and programs of similar rigor. Low aware, here's where I'm steaming, so calm me down. Low awareness of advanced courses and programs, insufficient preparation, and fear of social isolation can prevent low-income minority students from enrolling.
Didn't we take that out? We took
Yeah,
that
see,
out.
yeah, Susan took it out, Andrea. See, it's
Oh.
Well, I think
Yeah.
that Erica must have heard you.
Yeah.
She
Yeah, we
heard
took it
me.
out.
Okay, okay. And well, it just paints such an awful picture. I don't know, Beverly, what do you think?
Yeah, yeah. Well, we took that part out, but
Yeah.
the board is aware of minority students are chronically underrepresented. I don't know.
I mean,
wanna-
our own students told us, right to Carmita, to me, to Dr. G, they want to see more kids that look like them in these higher level classes. And I know the Martin Luther King scholars have probably said that to you, Andrea.
Oh, I told you last week
Yeah.
about Brittany Toussaint's. I would take out chronically. I mean, let's take out chronically and just
Yeah,
say
I don't
that.
know if chronic needs to be there. We know what underrepresented means.
Yeah.
And that's true.
You could always say, instead of minority, you could always say diverse groups of students.
Hmm. I like that. What do you think, Beverly?
I just Googled synonyms for minority.
Oh,
That
I
came
spend my
up.
life. I spend my
Yeah,
life
yeah,
on that.
yeah, that would sound better.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's more,
I like that.
a more
Yeah.
current term.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
And
when you say minority and students, it's like the kid is,
Actually,
Like-
the minority is the majority now in Groton.
see that?
Mhm.
Beverly,
Yeah.
I cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
So it depends on what you're really looking at. Minority is really the smaller group.
Right.
If we change minority to diverse group of students, I think we should keep low income as well. Because I do feel that that's a group that's underrepresented as well.
Yep,
and
I
I
was
think
I was thinking that too, Denise.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you want to change minority to diverse group?
Yeah.
That I would say low income.
Well, I like do diverse groups first. You got to keep that in there because that's really nice.
Yeah, I was gonna say both.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Denise.
A diverse, the board is aware that, how did it say? How about? That I did. I think that,
Why don't we just say the board is aware that diversity in this is underrepresented in advanced level high school courses? Do we have to say students or just
No, you can say
diversity?
diversity. I kind
Yeah,
of like that
I
better.
like that. Yeah.
And that's so true, because when my daughter was at Fitch, she was the
Mhm.
only African-American student in some of those classes. That's why I was glad she went to college at Emory University in Atlanta, so she can see that there was other Black students that were just as smart as she was.
Right.
there you go.
And it goes on to say further other barriers to participate include the failure to identify students with potential, insufficient motivation and incentives on behalf of teachers and or students, and funding.
And then I went through the roof when I saw funding. I mean, what does that mean? Like, you're all okay, you're all smart, you're all great and so on, but we're not funding you. I went nuts when I saw that.
Do they mean funding on the part of the district, that the district doesn't offer those courses, I wonder, or low income, maybe cultural or socioeconomic conditions in the home? Not sure what they mean about funding there.
Yeah, I don't think it means the home. I think it means like, yeah, well, if we got the bucks, we'll do it. If not, oh well.
Yeah.
I'm just questioning what's
don't understand.
insufficient motivation and incentives
Yeah.
on
yeah,
behalf
Yeah.
of teachers and students. What do they mean by that?
yeah, Well,
Well, it
let's
could
read
be
it
that
out.
it could be that teachers aren't motivating the kids to take these classes,
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
you
Let's
know?
Let's read it out loud. Susan, you want to do that? I'm so bad at reading out loud. Can you do that?
Okay, I'm going to read the whole thing. The board is aware that diversity is underrepresented in advanced level high school courses and programs of similar rigor. Further, other barriers to participate include the failure to identify students with potential, insufficient motivation and incentives on behalf of teachers and or students. I think the funding should go away because
I do
I would never
too.
let funding
Yeah.
hold me back.
I
That's right.
agree.
I'd get
Isn't
another
that-
grant.
I was
But-
just thinking that.
But look at what it says also. It says further other barriers. It doesn't talk about any barriers in the first. It just says
Well,
that.
because we took those barriers out, so we could say
Yeah.
Oh, I
barriers to
see. Oh, I
participate.
see. Okay. So
Yeah.
this means to me that, okay, Mr. Smith, if you only take this group of diverse kids, we'll give you an extra couple of bucks or a day
Right.
off. You know, that's what, to me, what that incentives, what is that?
Yeah, what
I
is
mean-
that? I was just gonna ask that. What is that? Incentives on behalf of teachers. Are you giving them a $1 for each student that they get in the AB class?
Well, everything that we've learned about diversity, equity, and inclusion really, to me, talks about expectations, right? So it's about whether or not there are high expectations. So a barrier would be low expectations, lack of encouraging students to take risks and challenges,
Let's put-
lack of those expectations.
Let's put
I
that
don't-
down and see how.
I
Yeah,
think
that's good,
motivation and
Denise.
incentives is not a good way to present it.
Yeah.
Is there a Schedule C for that?
Yeah, that's a good point. You know why? Because when my daughter, and I hate this, I'm going to say this real quick, was at West Side Middle School. And she never got homework. And I said to the principal, well, where's the homework? They never get homework at this school. And he said, oh, because some of the kids don't do homework. And I said, well, if those kids don't do homework, give them an F. But my kid does homework. So
That's right.
don't not give homework to the whole group. Because
You don't
have
lower
some
the
students-
bar because the bar is already low.
Yeah. So you lowered the bar for the whole school. And that's why I
Exactly.
think West Side always had a bad name, because you gotta have high expectations.
Exactly.
You
Oh
know,
my
yes,
God, that threw me
Kids
through a
kids
roof.
will rise to the bar if
Oh,
Yeah,
Thank you.
if
thank
it's
you,
if it's
thank you.
expected.
yeah.
You know, I
And when I
told
taught at the prison, one of the teachers in the next room said, hey, Beth, how come all your students do homework? And I said, because I expect them to do it.
That's there's
They
there's a
don't do it,
consequence if they don't.
then I'm not gonna be happy. They want to see Mrs. Washington happy.
So maybe
I
we could
said, you
just
gotta tell them you expect it. This is what you
Right.
expect.
And, you know, Beverly, you're so right, because about 10 years ago, the teacher's gone now. I met a teacher in a grocery store and I said, like, how's it going? And she said, oh, I love our kids, but you know, they just can't do it. It was just like that. And I'm thinking, oh my God. And
that's
I
your
said,
job.
Yeah.
Find out how to get them to do it.
Never read The Little Engine That Could.
See, and that's why there should be school-wide expectations.
Yeah.
And like I said, you'll know when the snakes are on the floor.
Well, and that's why we have, like you said, Andrea, that those teaching methodologies in NYP, that approach to
Mhm.
teaching and learning.
Okay, all
So
right,
I like your idea, Denise, what you said.
let's see it.
I think Susan captured it, low expectations.
Oh, yeah. She got that.
Trying to think of what else I said. Sometimes it's the belief system too, right? It's like this, belief system that kids can't achieve because they, come from backgrounds that,
Yeah.
maybe didn't offer them a lot of opportunities.
Mhm.
Um,
So that might, yeah, self-esteem.
mhm.
So So we're gonna take
But
out,
incentives, you gotta take that out though, right?
Yeah.
Incentives on behalf of teachers. I don't know what that's about.
I don't, yeah, I don't like that. And I
Yeah,
don't think
and-
there's
well, and the
insufficient motivation.
Insufficient motivation. I mean, I can see that a kid might not be motivated. The teacher's not motivated to have the kid take the course. I'm not so sure how the teacher has.
yeah, let's just end it at students and take the rest of that stuff out.
Does motivation have to do with belief system though? Could we say, or lack of motivation?
I'm looking at failure to identify students because I'm back to, you know, somebody else's idea.
You know, I think the term that we've all learned is it's almost, sometimes there's like a systemic, you know, racism that, you know, that keeps those, you know, keeps students, you know, oppressed.
You know, I'm going
to
back
me-
to this. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, well, I was just going to say, to me, it's all about having high expectations and a belief system the students can achieve. So, you know,
Well, you know what? Go ahead, Denise. I'm sorry.
no, go ahead. I'm wondering if maybe
I'm just. go
maybe
ahead.
we can wordsmith, you know, the motivation and incentives into maybe, you know, like an outdated belief system, or, you know,
Wow.
Well, insufficient motivation doesn't always have to come from the teachers. It could come from the family. I mean, you know, sometimes families don't motivate their children to do better. I mean, my mother told me this story, and I used it on my daughter. This is the last story I'm going to tell you. My mother told me this story. She said she had, excuse me for saying this, she said she had a Jewish friend, and the friend always told her kids, when they were little, you're going to college, you're going to college, you're going to college, you're going to college. So when the kid grew up, automatically they went to college. I used the same theory on my daughter. When she was little, you're going to college, you're going to college, you're going to college, going to college. So one time I said, oh man, I hope I have enough money to send you to college. She said, Ma, you've been telling me since I was little I was going to college. But see, it's the motivation. You keep telling them and brainwashing. But I was motivating her. You're gonna go to college, study hard.
And
So
setting those
only-
high
it doesn't only come from the
expectations.
teachers, it comes from families too.
Right,
You know,
you're right.
that's
Well,
what
so
Yeah.
insufficient motivation on behalf of our students.
I think this is something we could have Jamal help us with. I feel like
You know what? You know
we
what?
need him.
Denise, I can't tell you. I sent him an email about an hour before this, and I said, "Can you call me?" And he said, "I'm." And what I wanted him to come here tonight.
Yeah, yeah.
So he already knows that.
He would have no trouble working with this
Yes,
language.
Right.
Absolutely. So, all right.
So we'll have him look at this particular paragraph, but
Yeah,
I think
no,
we've
we'll-
We're gonna
tweaked
we're
it
gonna-
to make it a little better.
Right, but let's have him come to the next meeting. Because, I
Or we
know,
could have him look at it in between, Andrea. We could have him look at it, this week.
yeah, but if we're not there.
He's got a big gala on Friday night.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, his
Yes,
award
yay.
ceremony.
Yep. So let's have him here. I mean, we can send this to him,
Mhm.
but let's invite him. That's, I don't think Matthew's here, so Beverly, is that okay with you?
Yeah, that's
So this
fine.
evaluation makes sense to me because this is what we're doing anyway. We're disaggregating the data. We're looking at it every single which way. To make sure that, there's access for all kids, no matter how we break it out.
Right.
Should we add disability
Oh,
just to include that, that subgroup as well?
Mm.
I don't know.
Um,
Gender, ethnicity, disability, and free and reduced lunch
I hate
participation.
to call them disability.
yeah.
Good.
I think if we put. I think disability is in there. I mean, if we're looking at gender, ethnicity, and free and reduced lunch, a kid with a disability would fall into any one of those groups.
Okay. Or
One
you
of the
could,
things the state uses is high needs. It's very hard to break out the free and reduced lunch because it's all kept private. But they
Mhm.
look at high needs, and high needs indicate EL, special ed, and free and reduced lunch. So
Hmm.
I think if we look at high needs students, the
that
way
would
the
be
state,
good.
Yeah, that would be good.
because
That's
that'll
good,
capture
Susan.
all of
Yeah.
those.
Yeah.
Because we
that's
have a
good,
large
Susan.
EL population as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Then it says such data will be used. I know what this says. I don't know what it means. Such data will be used during the planning process for course and program offerings in the coming year. See, I guess it's for offerings, not for inclusion. What does it mean? I mean, I read what it says. Oh, Denise, what does it mean?
Well, it looks like they're going to look at the data and decide what courses to offer based on the participation. And I would imagine whether they're going to offer more courses in different subjects. Maybe, I think that's what program offerings mean. Where can we add advanced courses in the different content areas?
Mm. That makes sense.
Well, that's why a lot of times when, students are signing up, we're looking at the level of enrollment to determine which courses are going to be offered.
Right, so they're not just in math, they're so students who have talents in areas other than math,
But this
maybe,
says by gender, ethnicity. Well, maybe that would be like Black history or Hispanic literature or whatever. Maybe that's what it means.
well, they're going to disaggregate the data. So how many girls are in advanced
So
placement
they're
math?
reviewing the data of
Yeah.
student participation in the advanced classes. I think it goes back to that data. And the
Right.
data will be disaggregated. And this data of enrollment data
Will help plan future
will help
courses.
plan for what courses,
Yeah,
programs
how
are going to be
would-
offered
how
the
would-
next year.
How would free and reduced lunch participation determine which programs are going to be offered?
It doesn't. It's just saying it's just saying that
As an
the board will
indicator.
annually review data on student participation in advanced courses or programs.
Almost
And
by
then it
subgroup,
refers
Andrea.
to that sentence that the data shall be disaggregated. And then such data, the enrollment data, the participation data, will be used to determine planning process.
That
Of
makes
course.
sense to you. If that makes sense to you, it does not make sense to me. I'm going to look at the free and reduced lunch class and gender. God knows they even know what it means anymore. And whether you're Italian or whatever. And then I'm going to say, okay, based on free lunch, we're going to increase history courses. Like based on ethnicity, we're going to add math courses. That's what this says. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, I think you're going to look for, like when you look at data, you look for trends, right? What trends do we see in the data and how do we adjust our courses to meet the needs that the data is pointing to?
Why don't we just leave that out and just say the board will
Thank you.
annually review data on student participation in advanced courses or programs, period. And the data
with
will be
you.
used during the planning process for course and program offerings in upcoming years.
Take that out, right?
It is important though that we disaggregate the data because, I keep saying those courses need to mirror our community. And if we're not disaggregating data, we won't know who's sitting in the seat unless, you're walking in and out of classrooms, which you need to do anyway.
Maybe,
but,
Andrea,
But it seems like they're trying to accomplish too many things in one sentence.
Yeah.
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 Because
Maybe
I'm with
it's-
Andrea. So if a Black student is sitting in the seat, what does that mean? Does that mean we're going to offer, I don't know,
Yeah.
hip hop or something? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly right, Beverly.
You know?
Exactly right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I that is confusing.
Yeah.
I do think the disaggregated data needs to be somewhere though.
I do. And I wonder if maybe we should indicate that when we analyze the data, we're not just going to use it to make program decisions, but we're going to use it to work with the students, you know, to help the if we're seeing that the data is pointing to, you know, a low, you know, small number of females taking advanced math classes, then we need to work with our counselors to find out how we can work with more girls to take advanced math classes.
No, that's where that sentence, such data will be used during the planning. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
You
think
might want to
maybe
add another
Andrea's-
sentence.
Yeah, I think maybe Andrea's concern is that we're going to look at the data solely through the lens of courses and planning courses, but we also want to look at the data in terms of what work do we need to do with the students to get more students in these classes?
That's entirely different than what that says.
Yeah,
Right, but
right.
I'm saying maybe that's what we need to add in.
Mhm,
Because isn't the goal to increase the enrollment in the classes?
mhm.
So
Mhm.
maybe, you know, we could tweak that a little bit to add that we're also going to focus on what the work we need to do with the students to increase enrollment in groups that are underrepresented.
Right.
Right.
Just a thought.
Just the thought, it's solved the problem.
Yeah.
You should be running this show, not me.
No, I don't think so.
That's why we had her here. She's good at this kind of thinking.
Well, and we're trying to involve the counselors in doing more of this. This is exactly what the counselors are going to be, you know, doing more of and focusing more on when they work with students.
Right, exactly. So now we
There you
have,
go. That sounds better.
perfect. That's what, yes.
Andrea, don't say perfect, say better.
It's better. It's not perfect. I think that's what we meant to say.
Yes, well done. I stand
Well
corrected.
done.
So now, here's the thing. It's 7:27. I think we're on a roll here. So but I want to know from you, shall we continue with, at least with the regulations? I know it's not our purview, but oh well. And then,
Or would you rather go to the actual policy on the 8th and 9th grade to set the policy first?
No, let's look,
Okay.
no, and the reason I don't want to do that, and I'll take it from the group, is that the criteria, the regulations, they are so at odds with what we've done, that with what we've been saying all night tonight and last time, that I think now's the time to look at that, but I'll take direction from the group.
Now we could look at the regulation, because this regulation goes with this policy. So let's
Right.
stick with, you know, let's not jump to another policy.
I agree.
Now I'm having a hard time finding the regulation here. Let me just see.
It was probably in one of the Google Docs from Erica.
You're right.
Yep, there it is.
I'm gonna step away for a hot second. I'll be right back.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, we're on a roll.
Must be the heat.
Yeah.
So thank God you're home though, Denise, so you don't have to drive.
I know. I like it.
There
when we
are
meet
some
at 6.
benefits to this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like meeting at 6. 5 is good
Yeah.
when we're in person, but 6 gives me time to drive home.
Yeah,
Okay, so
so I can start right. Let's look at, it says advanced courses or programs eligibility criteria. I thought said that there's, we took that away, the eligibility, because everybody's eligible.
Mhm.
well, the policy calls it that too.
Maybe I missed that. Yeah, that should go in the policy too. Yeah, because we took that
What do
all
we
out.
want to call it? Access? For access to enrollment or?
Increasing
criteria.
enrollment
Even criteria
Increase
should go.
enrollment,
Say it
in
again.
advanced courses.
increase enrollment.
In advanced courses or programs.
What, how much is advanced courses or programs? That's all.
Don't you want enrollment though? Because it's really about getting students enrolled in these classes.
So
Oh, okay. All right.
increase enrollment.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and make sure that we tell Beverly when she gets back.
Okay.
And I'll make sure I change the policy too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So then the next thing is procedures, criteria. And, you know, that's the same thing. That has to go, I think.
So I think number 3 has to leave. Are we ready to say goodbye to it?
Mm-hmm.
Use enrollment access. Remove this after Susan researches. I've researched.
Yes. Okay, take it out. Okay. So let's go down to number 4. Because I say it's at odds with itself. And it says multiple methods, blah, 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 but, well, by which a student may satisfy eligibility criteria, including but not limited to. And, you know, recommendations from teachers. We threw that out, administrators and everybody else. The next
We
one,
still
criteria is
do
not-
that practice. We still look for recommendations based on their performance in a class before.
It doesn't have to be written though, right? It could just be verbal.
Yeah,
So it could be like, oh, honey, I know you want to take that class, but you know, Susan, you're just not up to
we hear that. We hear it
Yeah.
even from counselors. You don't want this. It's way too hard. It's too much work.
Yeah, and see, that's what I mean when I'm looking at recommendations from teachers and administrators, you know, yeah, you know, you're a nice kid, but. And let me tell you, how many Martin Luther King scholars talk about their, I don't know if you remember the one, her last name is Concepcion, and she came to Norwich, and she's in the elementary school, and she's all ready, but she only speaks Spanish. So teacher puts her in the back row and says like, you can listen, don't say anything. So the next day she comes in, she sits in the front row. And because she couldn't speak English, she got crushed and she moved herself to the back row. See, so that's, you know,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I hear that stuff all the time. So I don't know if you remember one of the Fort twins. He's at Brown now, but he started his speech with, "Do I look white to you?" And then the kid said, you know, "I can't believe you're black. You act so white." You know, what? I mean, that comes from a kid, so you know you can forgive that. But I'll never forget that. "Do I look white to you?" And when I told that to Dr. Mitchell, when we were before the kid, you know, he saw the kid, he just said, "Oh my God, no, don't start with that." But I said, "Nah, trust the kid. It'll be great." Anyway, shut up.
How
Andrea.
about instead of recommendation, encouragement from?
Mm-hmm. I like that.
They're gonna say it's the same thing.
No,
You know, Susan.
It's less formal though. I think it gives more opportunity.
Well, I don't think any of these things, because we said they can if they want to take these
Right.
courses.
so
Why-
we could put that at the top. I mean, it says students' interest and persistence or desire
Where's
to
that?
take the course.
Oh, you want to make that number A?
Yeah, make that number A.
Yeah, move that to the
Yeah.
top.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, see, that's at the bottom.
Instead of desire, Susan, could we say motivation?
Well, I think interest is student interest and persistence. I love that.
Okay.
But they shouldn't have to persist, Andrea.
Yeah, you're right. Just
You know what I
student
mean? It
Ah,
sounds
yeah,
like
yeah.
they have to kind of prove themselves or,
Or they're
Mhm.
persist
begging.
in, yeah.
Well, and
So you
I
want to
mean,
say students?
motivation,
Mm.
Okay,
let's just put it here
recommendations
for
from,
now.
let's say, recommendations from teachers, that we're gonna get rid of recommendations, right? Criteria not exclusively based on our students, that one's good. Use of students' prior academic performance and must rely on evidence-based indicators. I mean, that's what we said we're not gonna do, is rely on prior academic performance per Matthew. That was his exact argument. GPA improvement over time, that too is not what we said we were gonna do.
I don't know if encouragement from parents, but
Yes.
that's what Beverly was saying.
Yeah, I like
Yes.
that. Yeah,
Me too.
yeah.
Criteria not exclusively
Let's get
based
the-
on students' prior academic performance. I think we can agree on that.
Yeah. Let's take out teachers, administrators, and school counselors. Just parent encouragement from parents.
Well, I think school
Well,
counselors are important
I
because
think
they're,
that's what we've been really wanting our teachers and counselors to do, is to encourage them instead of discourage them. I mean, we've really put an emphasis on looking for kids to have these opportunities and finding those, those interesting kids.
All right, I see how you read that. Okay, Beverly, are you okay with that one?
Yeah, but you can't say encouragement and recommendation
well, we're
from
trying not to
parents?
make it so formal.
Okay.
So it's, so they don't have to apply to get in.
Well,
Uh,
I don't take a recommendation as applying to get in. A teacher can, because you do have some teachers that might say, hey, Denise, you might benefit from doing X, Y, and Z. That's
Yeah.
it. Is that an encouragement or a recommendation? I don't know.
To me,
Can I
that's
tell
a-
you the reality? And this
Go
is
ahead.
why I am so on top of this high school, trying to really strategize and make this better. But if a teacher doesn't recommend the kid, then the kid doesn't sign up.
mhm. But
So they look to the teachers as the ones who would know if they can or can't do it. But to have that encouragement, that's different than, they actually put these recommendations down, what they think the child can take. And I said, they shouldn't be saying they take AP or IB. They should just encourage them to take what they want to take of these on these higher level courses. Because once they've recommended, then the student thinks that that's the only thing they should be taking.
Ah.
I think it limits them sometimes.
I
But-
feel
So what
like
do
it,
you,
yeah. I
Go
feel
ahead.
like
Let
it
me-
does. I feel
let
like it
me-
does too.
let me give you an experience that I had, like maybe my 5th year of teaching. I was at Cutler, and we had to make recommendations to who we had those. We had high group, middle group, low group, and we had to make recommendations. And I had the high 8th grade, and I looked at this one kid, and I kept saying, because I had to keep it down, and I had to make a decision about whether I was going to recommend her or not, and I didn't. That kid was destroyed by that. So that's why I really don't want recommendations in here if it means like what happened that I did to that kid, destroyed her, I'm telling you. And but if it means like Beverly said, and like I do with the cadets, like, hey, why are you doing this? It's how we interpret this. So I don't know how to make that clear. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
This is a labor of love.
I know it.
I think when you get to the high school level, you think of a recommendation as something formal, right? Because you need recommendations, for jobs, for colleges. And we don't want to make that contingent on a student getting into an advanced course.
So Denise, you're in favor of not saying recommendation.
No, because I think it's something written. That would, I mean, if we put recommendation, I would put verbal.
Okay.
I just think the encouragement is something where it's more personalized. You really know the kid. You're saying, I really want you, you should really try
Yeah.
this. I think
Yeah.
this is something you would enjoy. And, you know, I just think it's,
It builds
I think they would
confidence in the
join more
students.
if they got encouraged rather than recommended, because I think recommended can hold them back from something else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Right.
look at what I did, yeah. So I
Now,
like this.
This D, I'm not real sure about. Use of
Me too.
students' prior academic performance must rely on evidence-based indicators of how they will perform in an advanced class. Well, that's like a crystal ball to me.
Well,
That's-
that's looking at their grades and saying you got a D in this class, so you can't move on.
Yeah, that's
Well,
Matthew.
and I don't like the GPA, but I would say that seeing growth over time, that's what I love about the state testing is we're looking for growth over time. So,
So you could say, you could say that, just don't say GPA.
Right,
You could even say, use, review of students' prior academic performance and growth over time. Or
I would just
improvement
say, no.
over time.
I would just say growth of, oh, I see. Oh, I see. So review of student performance in terms of growth over time.
Mhm. Including growth over time.
I would say, I would do the other one in terms of, what do you think, Beverly?
Well, their prior student performance may be all A's and B's. So
Oh,
I think you want to have both. You want to
oh,
have
oh,
review
I see what you're saying.
performance
Okay,
and then include growth over time for those who don't have all A's and B's.
Right. Okay,
so how about review student performance, including?
Yeah, including growth
yeah,
over
right.
time.
I like that. Beverly?
And who's in favor of taking this thing off use of prior academic performance, evidence-based?
Yes, get it
Like
out.
as
Yeah.
if we have a crystal ball.
I think we revised it to E.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now it can include multiple levels. It doesn't mean it has to include all of these things.
Mhm.
Right.
So, you know, it can include, and I like the multiple levels. And then this one is gone because we already
Right.
said this.
Mhm.
That one's on top, right?
And
And-
scoring near the benchmark, you know, not just always on or above the benchmark. You know, but they're,
I don't think we need it though. Beverly, what do you think? Did you go?
well, D might say it for us already.
I know,
Say
I'm
what?
trying to think of
Yeah,
what assessments we're referring to in E. Because the only local assessment is Lexia Rapid, which is sunsetting, and then SAT in grade 11. Other than that, it's their,
Well,
It's
and that's
their-
really a state-based test.
right. It's
So-
really their grades. And I think we have that in D.
I think we have it in D.
I
Are
agree.
you guys in for me taking this out?
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay. And then I
The
have,
other thing you could consider, this is just a thought, is participation in extracurricular activities. That really does speak to motivation, though.
I don't know how we would. Oh, so you're in basketball. Okay,
Yeah. I know it. I didn't know, we're looking for kids who are really.
Well,
um,
we're gonna be giving this to Jamal. He might even come up with some other ideas.
Okay,
so here's the other thing. We
I
need
love this robust set of student supports. How do you like that, Beverly?
I think she took a powder.
I
Well, where is that?
So it's number 4.
Oh, I see it.
like that too.
Yeah, I like that too. The one I have a question with is, publish and disseminate materials that encourage all students to participate and advance. And making those, oh, I don't know, I have that one. No, forget that, okay. Okay, leave that one in there. And
How
then
about
to
and
accept,
providing these materials rather than making? providing.
Mhm.
Ah,
And then you would take out available. Providing these materials in multiple languages.
providing these materials in
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 multiple,
multiple languages.
Yeah.
I don't know what I touched,
Oh,
but
Erica can fix
Erica
it.
will
Don't
figure
worry.
it out.
Yeah.
Now, here's what I'm thinking for number 6. Set high expectations for all students. Providing middle years, IB middle years program for all 6th through 10th grade. So we're basically giving them this foundation of rigor and relevance through our IB and middle years program for all students that really will prepare them and make them more ready to do these other things.
Yeah, that's like
That's the concept. I
foundation.
don't know how
That's
I
the
want to say it in
foundation.
words, but
Well, you're providing a foundation with the MYP program, right? That rigor that we've been talking about and those expectations and high expectations.
and where would you
because
put
that, remember when we first started talking about this, and remember your field trips with Dr. G and how that was really his, his vision of how are we going to do this is because we're going to take all of our kids and give them this really foundational
Mm-hmm.
level program that will ready them.
I
And-
love that.
Did you want high expectations in there after a foundation of rigor and relevance and high expectation? Is that where that went?
Provide high
Provide a-
foster high expectations by providing.
How much is
Mhm.
providing a foundation of rigor and relevance and high expectation after relevance? Rigor, comma, relevance, comma, and high expectation.
I never forget my second comma.
There's one that
I don't either.
There's one that we missed above, but I'll find it later. And I have other things about the bottom and I'm getting punchy. I don't know about the two of you.
I am too. I think we should replace with and say through.
Where are you?
Number 6, instead of with IB middle years program, through the
Okay.
IB middle years program.
Mhm. I like
Through-
that.
Through
Mhm.
the. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I do too.
Anything else? Because we're really at the bottom here.
Yeah, but
Oh,
there's
no,
another.
we got more.
I know. That's why we're gonna table the rest of this. because-
Okay. But
Okay, so,
if with your permission, I'd like to be able to forward it to Jamal. Not that he doesn't have enough to do, but just to have him take a look at
I
it.
would, I definitely
And-
would.
and-
This is such
yeah.
his area.
yeah. How about if I do it, this way, Susan, just, and you'll know what I'm talking about. How about if I send Jamal an email and say, I have directed, Susan to send you would that, you know what I'm
That would be
saying?
fine. Yeah.
Okay,
You could
thank
say
you.
that we were
Yeah.
working on it and we
Yeah.
just wanted his
Yeah,
Yeah.
critique or his thoughtful.
yeah,
Yes.
I'll do that, and then you can say whatever you want.
Okay.
All
Yeah,
right, how's that sound? Okay.
just
that
CC
sounds
me
good.
when you write him so that
Oh,
I'll
of
know
course.
and I'll
Yeah,
follow up.
yeah, okay. All right, so.
Well, we
okay,
got a
so
lot done.
No, we didn't. Oh, we did get a lot done.
Well, I know Kim wants to do that ad hoc committee for the naming of the libraries.
Oh, my God.
But you can still do it. We have a policy in place that says you can do that.
All right, let's finish
The new
this,
policy
and-
doesn't need to be done because the old policy says it anyway.
All right,
That the board has the right to name any parts of a building, whatever they want. And that we've just brought a few people together the only thing that I think is that if we're gonna name one library after Dr. Mitchell, we need to think of those as twin schools. The
yeah,
new buildings, and I would like to be able to name the other library after someone, and I don't know which library, but you know, it would be
Okay.
nice to come out with.
okay, oh. But yeah, let's use the old one and table this one. I only
Okay.
have a couple of things here that I'm thinking about, but, and they're really, maybe I was punchy when I said it. I don't know why I said need a policy. Oh, I know what it was. It was that all of this is in regulations. Yeah, definitely we'll table this and we'll just use the old policy.
Okay,
All right.
Yep.
Remind me that I said that. Okay.
all right.
I'm the witness.
And our
Yeah.
tickets came in, Dr. Ackerman, and we're going to Simsbury at 5, so I definitely will call you, so we'll make sure we're on the road in plenty of time.
Okay, great. Is that enough time? An hour to get to Simsbury?
What's that?
Is an hour enough time to get to Simsbury?
I'm gonna have to chart it out. I'm gonna use my
Yeah.
GPS and figure that out before we go.
On
Yeah.
a,
I think-
on a is
I
it
think
Friday
it's gonna be a
night?
little more than an hour.
It
Isn't
is.
Yeah,
Simsbury
it
up there by
probably
the
is, especially
airport?
you don't know what traffic's gonna be
Is it-
like.
Is it
Right,
Friday
right.
night?
Yeah,
Yeah, so 95 gets really congested on Friday nights with people, still vacationing. So I
can
would
I
leave an
avoid
hour-
95?
No, they're
to
not
go
going
Simsbury?
95. They don't have to
Oh,
go
where are you going?
95.
Route 2?
Yeah, Route 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But even 85 gets a lot of traffic going
Yes, it
north.
does.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't like going on 85 anyway.
Susan, can I make one suggestion for the naming of facility regulations?
yeah,
Where you say, in number 1, the superintendent shall appoint a school naming committee composed of teachers, administrators, PTA, PTO. Can you do me a favor?
yeah.
Can you just say staff? Because
Yeah.
you're leaving out paraprofessionals, custodians.
Yeah, and you know what? When we named our schools, we had everybody. We had
Yeah.
paras. I
So
think we had a
just say
custodian
staff.
in one.
Yep. Do you
That's
mind
the
if
only thing I saw on that.
do you mind if I log off?
No,
No.
go right ahead.
Yes,
Thank
we
you,
do,
Denise.
Yeah.
My husband was switching the
appreciate
lights
you.
in the background.
If we
Okay,
have to
thank
stay,
you.
you have to stay, Denise.
Yeah.
I have to go eat dinner.
Me too.
Okay, thank you. Bye, everybody. Good night.
Thank you.
Bye,
Bye.
Denise. Thank you, Denise.
Okay, thank you.
That's what I mean when I said thank you. Anyway,
Are you gonna do referral? The
no,
only,
we're table. Oh, go ahead, Beverly.
no. The only referral I have is because when we talked about high school CIAC and my husband was whispering in my ear, you need a policy for middle school. So
Oh,
so he said, don't forget about the middle school too. So I know we have one for the high school, but we should work on one for the middle school as well.
Mark had
And we talked about that
suggested
at
that
the
they be
last
2
meeting.
separate policies. You're right.
Yeah, 2 separate policies.
Yep. Okay, I'm gonna put
Okay.
that on. Your husband is a wise man.
yes. So let's finish this before we all go nuts here. And see where at the bottom where it says to access, and then it says high school students willing to, it looks to me that it says like, if you look at the first sentence, it says that everybody can. And then when you look at the second one that starts with high school students, it's really, but no, they can't.
So
let's just-
you've gotta orient me to where you are.
Yeah,
Okay.
where are you?
Are you on page 1 of 2?
Oh, God, I don't even know. I am. Yes. Okay. And I'm at the very bottom where it says to access.
Okay. To
Okay.
access advanced courses or programs?
Yes.
Okay.
So somebody else read that out loud and then just stop at the end of that paragraph.
To access advanced courses or programs, students need to complete sufficiently difficult coursework at the middle school level. This equitable course enrollment policy is based on rigorous learning opportunities for all students in elementary and middle grades.
Okay.
That doesn't sit well with me. It goes back to having them all prepared with a foundation of MYP so that they all can access.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I read that wrong when I said to you, I read my arrows wrong because that's what I have here. If they all can do it, then what does that mean? So let's get rid of that.
So what do you want me to take out? The whole paragraph?
Yeah,
Or do we say that, I mean, we set it up above that. Did you see what we added here, Beverly? Provide
I
a
did.
foundation of rigor, relevance, and high expectations through the International Baccalaureate Middle Years Program
Yeah.
for all of our students, grades 6 through 10.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
that
great.
that prepares them.
Okay.
So,
So then the next one says, to access these courses, they need to complete a sufficiently difficult coursework at the middle school.
Mm,
And see, we said, no, they don't. And this equitable course enrollment policy is based on rigorous learning opportunities for all.
for all students. And then.
That just goes.
well, I understand what they're saying, that you can't just start in high school. We really need to be practicing this kind of high expectations, rigor, and relevance for kids all through schooling.
Mhm.
You can't
But
just
See,
start
that's
in
not what
high
it says.
school.
It says to get into these courses. Yeah, but it says to get into these courses.
I know, I don't,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think number 6 kind of says it, provide that foundation.
Mhm.
Right.
And maybe we come out and call it and say, so students will be ready to take these high level courses.
But see,
Yeah, you could say that.
then we're back to that kid where the teacher says, "Oh, why are you participating?" So you may not know.
How about if they're prepared?
I'm prepared to take.
But
high
see,
level.
even that limits who can take it. Hey,
Well, aren't all
everyone-
No, we're saying that all students are
all
taking the
students are taking
MYP.
it. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought. All students are taking MYP.
Let's see what Jamal says. He's a good thought partner.
Yeah, I think that's good. And take out that paragraph there.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
So
That's
Susan
just good.
or Beverly,
So I do think that students have to be willing to accept the challenge,
yeah,
right?
Right.
yeah, absolutely,
Because we can't force them into it if that's not what they want.
right.
Right. Oh, look at that.
And there are some prerequisite courses, like you have to have algebra 1 before you take algebra
Take
2.
algebra. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You can teach geometry whenever you want, though. I've even taught it with algebra, and it's kind of fun.
Yeah, and it does say, or otherwise have demonstrated mastery of the, or
Right.
otherwise that could be
Well, and
anywhere.
we've had kids come in and take an end unit or an end, test, a final, because they've
Yeah.
said that they've had a course similar to or something like that.
Yeah,
Kind of like what Matthew was saying. He
Yes.
tested out.
And what about the part that says it have permission from the course instructor to participate?
Yeah,
that's
I'm
where
not so sure about that.
that has to go.
Right.
Only if you get that, will you be in law, and that's counter to everything we said.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys are rebels. I love it. Are you
We're-
on with our Groton 2020 and beyond? It's all about this.
Don't
Before
forget
I
what
retire, I'm walking into all those
Don't-
classrooms and they're gonna be the mirror.
Don't forget what Dr. Grenier said to me. You're the most ladylike, well-dressed rebel I ever met. Okay, so we're on the last thing. And again, district administrators and all these people are gonna, let's see.
Advise
shall-
about the opportunity.
Yeah, you see,
So they're just saying they're offering the opportunity.
Opportunity. They're
They
gonna tell
gotta
them it's out.
communicate, because a lot of times our kids and families are saying, we didn't know about this or that. We didn't know that they had this or that.
okay. When the students' success plans are prepared and revised, the academic component shall include appropriate preparatory courses and advanced course programs. Teachers shall also encourage it. Okay. I'm not sure
Yeah,
what
that
that
goes
means.
along with what we're saying.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that means, and I think it's because I'm punchy. And then the next one is Chef versus O'Neill again. And I have, see where it says, to those, and that should say who, not that, to those who are directly related to a student's potential and according to whom. You know,
The board seeks and workforce and all policy.
So it says the board seeks an equitable course enrollment policy that limits the prerequisites and entry requirements to those that are directly related to the student potential for success. So in other words, you're limiting all those stipulations and requirements for kids
Right, and that's what we're trying to
based
do.
on
Mhm.
perceived student potential for
Right.
success.
yeah,
related.
but that's where where the problem is based on perceived student potential.
So that's, I think that's what that sentence is referring to, though, that we are looking at this as an equitable course enrollment policy
Yeah,
that
that limit,
limits the expectations and
Expectations.
entrance requirements
right,
to those that are directly related to what someone else perceives as a
Yeah.
student's potential for
Yeah.
success,
Yeah.
because it
there
could
you go.
limit the kid.
I think that's a good sentence, because you're saying
I
that,
know, it's a little tricky, though. You got to read it
Yeah.
carefully, but I
Yeah.
think it says what we mean it to say.
right,
Um,
because if the kid has a C in Spanish 1, and I'm making this up, wants to take Spanish 2, you could say, nope, you need to get a better grade, but if he shows he's motivated, which we want them to show, then we could say, go ahead.
mhm,
And that's what
Yeah.
you're saying, limits.
right.
Susan,
And then it goes on to say, therefore, multiple measures must be used to identify students for advanced coursework, and no single measure excludes their
Excludes.
participation.
mhm.
Yeah,
I love this policy. I'm going to use it with our middle school when they start advancing kids in math, because they really do go through this whole criteria. And I
Mhm.
was actually part of that when we first developed it, but I'm rethinking what we were doing.
Okay.
And
Susan,
then
do me a
advanced
favor.
courses or programs must comply with applicable district policy and state standards. And this policy must be in accordance with State Department of Ed.
I don't know what
promulgated
promulgated.
guidance,
Take
whatever
that
that
out.
means.
Yeah, take that out. Just guidance. And do me another favor. will
Must
that-
be in accordance with the Connecticut State Department of Ed.
Yeah. And then go back to the paragraph before that. And you see where it says to those that are directly related. Make that who, to those who are directly related. I think, wait a minute. No, see, I'm punchy. I'm reading it wrong. Never mind. I didn't say that. And then
then
I
the-
have, go ahead, Beverly.
no, go ahead.
Now
Then
they
the
go
last-
back. Now they're reverting that I'm in charge now of making up all these identification.
Yeah, the superintendent and or designee shall ensure the development of or an identification of program stipulations eligibility.
I would rather be responsible for providing access to all students
Yes,
who wish to be part of this.
yes.
I mean, I don't
Well-
even think we need this. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you can take it out.
You want to take out that whole paragraph?
Yeah,
The
I'm not sure that we
superintendent
need it.
shall ensure the development and identity. Well,
It
somebody has
also
to make
talks
sure
about
that
being
this
able
is,
to add drop classes, but that's, I don't know if that's necessary in this.
but somebody has to make sure that this is happening. So, I mean,
I like the idea of like the superintendent and her or her designee
sure,
shall ensure the development and identification of the development of the program, the execution of the program,
right?
you know, just like Beverly says, like somebody's got to oversee
Yeah.
this, and that's you, baby.
How about the access to these programs?
Well, that means that the next guy who comes in after you says, I don't want any of those black kids taking these courses.
Hmm.
You know, if that's what it means, for that you alone give access.
Yeah, I like that last paragraph. It doesn't bother me any.
No,
This makes sure Susan's making sure that the policy and the is going the way we want it to go. That students are getting,
says-
that all students have the opportunity to get into these advanced programs
Yeah,
and
but
courses.
it doesn't say
Right.
that. It doesn't say that because it says eligibility criteria. See that,
Uh,
that's,
So take that out.
yeah,
that's why I was starting with maybe the superintendent shall ensure that all students have access.
yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
yep. I'm
That
not letting you off
nobody's
the hook,
prevented.
Susan.
Huh?
I'm not letting you off the hook with making sure that this happens.
I know. You have to make sure I'm an honest woman.
Yes.
Okay.
There you go. Perfect. Again,
Based
oh no.
on, based on this policy.
Yes,
Right.
yes, yes.
There
I
you
like
go.
that. Yeah. Okay. And then get rid of the rest of that junk.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's too much about the identification there again.
Good.
Oh, we're a team.
Oh, that was a workout. I'm not
Yeah.
even hungry anymore.
You are a saint, so let me tell you. So,
Yeah.
so,
Thank you,
so
Susan.
now,
Thank
yes.
you very much, ladies. Coming back to community. Can't you feel it?
So we're gonna table the
I'm gonna send
Eligibility
these
for-
policies to Jamal. You're gonna write them first and CC me.
but I don't know if we should send him the second one. What do you think? Because he won't have the like all my input. So he's gonna be making this, changes, and they may not correspond to what I think should be on here.
Well, I know we really almost have to have a conversation. with them.
Andrea,
What?
it's not
What?
what you think, it's what we think.
Never mind.
We.
She's
We're
right
a
about that.
committee. We're a committee, Andrea.
Why are you always right? So what do we do? Do we sit down as a committee with Jamal? Because I hate to have him do this and then spend a lot of time, and he sends it back and we're saying, we are saying, well, that's not what we want,
He and I have a DEI meeting this week anyway. So I can actually give him a hard copy and just have him take a peek at it while he's there and just
Yeah.
explain to him that we're trying to take out all of these identification criterias so that we open up access for our kids to take it. And we're laying the foundation with the MYP IB program for all 6th
Yeah.
through 10th.
Okay,
Yeah, he could give his suggestions and then we can
And he
look at
can
his
just-
suggestions.
You know, let us know what his thoughts are.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm bending to the group here.
All
So-
right, so we started at 6 and what time is it now?
Oh, don't-
8:10.
I know.
This
but
is
you
the
know-
hardest working board I know. And I've had a lot of boards.
Okay.
Beverly,
Okay.
don't you think it's worth it,
What?
Beverly? Spending this time on this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I say to Jay, and I have to say this, I don't know why you all rush through your meetings all the time. Oh, we gotta hurry up and get through. I don't get that. We have work to do. Let's do the work that we're elected to do. I mean, I tell, are we on a time? I always
Oh,
text them, are we on a time frame, man?
thank you that you said that. Now I can rest. Okay, all right. So Beverly, you're gonna do the motion to
night,
adjourn,
Gracie.
right?
Yeah, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Second, good night, Gracie. Thank you all. Oh, thank you so
Aye.
much.